The afternoon light was thin and weak, filtering through the dusty window of the small apartment. It caught on motes of dust swirling in the still air. Daniel Miller exhaled slowly, a final, quiet breath that seemed to merge with the silence settling over the worn sofa. The police officer's calls went unanswered, then deliberately ignored. A system's voice, cold and devoid of inflection, echoed in a space only he could perceive. It asked if there were regrets. He thought of the boy. Not a boy anymore. A man who wouldn't even claim his body. A wry internal smile. Who else could be blamed? He had written the character, after all. This was the author's own peculiar atonement. Yet the image persisted. A gaunt figure clutching a granite headstone in a windswept cemetery. In that moment, a doubt crept in. Perhaps the entire endeavor had been a mistake. 30 years had passed since he crossed into the pages of his own novel. The cramped apartment was his final setting. The cause was some illness or perhaps the system's conclusion, likely both. It was a quiet, decent enough end. Over those decades, he had taken in the antagonist, altering the narrative's course. A story of anguish was rewritten into something gentler, a simple tale of found happiness. The two stubborn leads found their way to each other without the endless misunderstandings. The villain, once a child scavenging in dumpsters, grew up knowing he was loved, found his own person, and was spared a twisted fate and an unmarked grave. His task was complete. The system offered a return ticket home, but a strange inertia held him. He lingered, even as the system's prompts grew more insistent, until the day Ethan began to pull away. It was a day heavy with unshed rain. Ethan moved out. His possessions were few, yet the trips to the car seemed endless. Daniel leaned against the doorframe, watching each silent journey. As Ethan prepared to leave for the last time, Daniel's fingers lightly caught the sleeve of his jacket. "Will you be back? For dinner, I'm building my own life now, Dad. I'll visit." The young man's lips curved in a faint, distant smile. He used the folder in his hand to gently disengage Daniel's grip. "Isn't this what you wanted? A normal son?" It was. He knew fledglings were meant to leave the nest. But the knowledge did nothing to soften the acidic surge of loss that climbed his throat. He remembered his first act upon arriving in this world, finding the scrawny child in the ruins of a condemned neighborhood, fighting a stray dog for scraps. Those eyes had been dark and opaque, holding none of a child's clarity. He knew the script. The boy's father had abandoned him with a lie that a man named David Carter would come. So the child waited, hope a fragile, fading thing. The original David Carter had pocketed the money and forgotten. A plot device to explain a future monster's rage. Now he used that same lie to extend a hand. "Your father asked me to find you. You're Ethan, aren't you?" A quiet voice replied, "You're David Carter." "I am. He said you'd come." The boy's voice hitched. He scrubbed his dirty hands hard on his pants before placing a small, tentative hand in David's. "I waited so long. Where were you?" That small child was grown now. Taller, stronger, ready to face storms alone. So he flew from the nest. He never looked back, not even at the news of a death. Perhaps that was for the best. Ethan was successful. David remained an unremarkable, middle-aged man. The system announced his mission complete. After a pause, David asked if he could see him one last time. A silence from the system. "Do not become so attached to your own creations." "He was my words first," David argued inwardly. "Then he became my responsibility. I wrote his ending, then I rewrote it. I want to see the final result." The officer beside his lifeless body used a scanner on his face. Every emergency contact listed was Ethan James. The fourth call finally connected. "Hello?" Ethan's voice was thick with exhaustion. "This is the Maplewood precinct. Are you related to David Carter?" A long pause. A non-committal sound. "David Carter has been involved in an incident. We need you to come to the station, preferably within. I'm busy today." Ethan's tone was soft, detached. "It's my wedding day." The young officer's brow furrowed as he glanced at the sheet-covered form. He struggled for new words. "It's rather urgent, sir. He didn't call me. He told me not to interfere." Ethan's voice was low. "If he can't handle it, you handle it. I have to go." He'd be angry. The line went dead. The other officer shook his head. What a mess. They arranged for the body. The apartment door clicked shut. David stood in the empty living room, a ghost in a space still holding the shape of his life. "Do you still wish to see him?" The system's voice held a hint of something like scorn. "I was not a very good father," David conceded. The system said nothing. David closed his eyes, and Ethan's face appeared, bringing the 14-year-old home in his old sedan. The boy sitting silently in the back, watching unfamiliar streets blur past. The public showers where layers of grime were washed away. Beneath it was a startlingly beautiful child, with long lashes and a porcelain stillness. He was quiet, emotionally contained, painfully thin. His wrist felt like a bundle of twigs. It took years to put healthy weight on him. He rarely smiled, rarely cried. Yet at night, he would curl into David's side, clutching his arm with a desperate strength that spoke of a deep, unvoiced dependency. Suddenly, memory shifted. He was back in that narrow bed, the child a warm weight against him. "Dad," a small, careful voice asked after a story, "will we be together forever?" This time, in the memory, he gave the promised answer. Then they slept, nestled together through a long-ago winter night. The system's question came again. "Are you certain?" "Yes." One last look. He opened his eyes to a different room. Even as a specter, a chill seeped into him. Dawn's first gray light tinted the windows. He examined his surroundings. This was to be Ethan's marital home? It bore no signs of celebration. It was sterile, cold, a showroom devoid of life. He waited for over 2 days before Ethan returned. The familiar face was paler, more drawn. Ethan fumbled for the light switch. In the warm glow, David studied him. He was more distant than ever, eyes shadowed, dark circles beneath them like bruises. He moved past, the hem of his coat carrying a whisper of the cold night outside. He had lost weight. "Ethan, aren't you getting married?" David wondered aloud. The young man shed his coat and sank into the sofa, lifting a hand to shield his eyes from the light. David saw the constellation of fine needle marks on the back of that hand. "He's sick," David muttered, a familiar worry rising. "I told him not to work so late, to take care of himself. His constitution was never strong." He trailed off, remembering his words were soundless now. And it was no longer his place. He was just a foster father, a deceased one. Yet, as if hearing him, Ethan jolted upright, his gaze sweeping the room. A moment later, he slumped, a derisive laugh escaping him. The phone rang. David recognized the voice immediately. Liam Shaw, Ethan's friend, a doctor. "Ethan, where are you? You have a session. You just left after that call." "I'll come tomorrow." "Tomorrow? My colleague is a highly sought-after specialist. This is better than the sedatives and IVs, you know that. She's leaving for a conference soon. Do you know how much I had to promise?" Ethan fell silent. David knew this habit. When confronted with an unwanted demand, he would retreat into a deliberate, stubborn quiet. "Ethan," Liam tried a new tack. "Do you want to fix things with your dad?" A hoarse reply. "Yes." "Then you need to engage with the treatment." Ethan's response was disjointed. "I'm home. I thought I heard David speaking. Is your dad there?" "No." When I opened my eyes, the voice stopped. Liam was silent for a beat. Then a curse and the call ended. David was startled. Could he hear me? No, the system answered flatly. Auditory hallucination. A side effect. David pressed his lips together, another memory surfacing. Ethan had been an obedient teenager, bypassing typical rebellion. He grew strikingly handsome, which made David anxious about high school romances. He'd heard neighbors talk of grades plummeting, of kids dropping out. "Dad, is something wrong?" the young Ethan had asked, noticing his stares during dinner. "Just how is school? Not too stressful?" "It's fine. I can keep up." Ethan set his fork down, giving the question full attention. David fumbled. Good. Just focus on your studies. Plenty of time for dating after graduation. Everything in its own time." Those dark, clear eyes watched him. Then Ethan's lips quirked. A soft chuckle escaped, growing into genuine laughter, eyes crinkling at the corners. It was a rare, luminous sight. David found himself smiling too. "Dad, I won't." Ethan's smile was breathtaking. "Promise." He never dated any girls. David rubbed his temples. Of course not. He'd forgotten he'd originally written a love story between two men. One summer, after Ethan's high school graduation, he'd seen a video on the boy's computer. Two men. He'd sighed, accepting fate. His villain was gay. Fine. As long as he was safe and kind and happy. A father's wish was simple. A knock at the door shattered the recollection. Ethan went to answer. Liam stood there, having driven straight over. "So, the wedding? Still on. It's happening. You're insane." Liam strode in, not bothering to hide his frustration. "Fake wedding. For what? To make your dad think you're normal? And then what? Act out this charade indefinitely?" Ethan looked away. Liam lit a cigarette, the smoke curling in the sterile air. "My friends, one's divorced and suicidal. The other is in love with his foster father and stages a fake marriage. I'm a surgeon. I deal with enough chaos. It's what he needs to see," Ethan said softly, "so he can believe I'm normal." David stood frozen. The world seemed to hush, the words echoing. He remembered Ethan's parting sentence. It all clicked into a horrifying, heartbreaking place. The wedding proceeded. The bride was a lovely young woman, Liam's cousin, Chloe. Ethan paid her generously. She was thrilled. "What's my motivation if someone objects?" she asked brightly. "Tears? A single stoic tear? Do I bless them and walk away?" Liam just smoked, looking weary. David felt like he was moving through a dream. He recalled the distancing. After realizing Ethan's orientation, he'd begun to carefully step back. Ethan was an adult. The dependency, following him everywhere, needing to hold his hand to sleep, felt inappropriate, a potential future problem for a real partner. Ethan noticed the withdrawal. He accepted it quietly. David thought he'd adapted. Until a summer night, after a birthday, a little beer, and tears. "Are you abandoning me too? Do you not love me anymore?" The tears undid him. David offered frantic reassurances. "Will you find a wife? Will you still love me? Will you tell me stories?" The tall young man curled into him, seeking the comfort of a child. David promised, and the tears stopped. Things returned to a fragile normalcy. Until the day he found the photograph in Ethan's room. His own image, marked with evidence of a private, desperate longing. He waited, the paper feeling toxic in his hand. "Tell me you don't feel that way about me. Tell me you're normal." Ethan knelt before him. "Dad, if my answer is yes, then we're done. I'll never see you again. It would mean I failed." Ethan remained kneeling for a long time. When David stood, a tear escaping, Ethan finally spoke. "I understand. It's not like that. Just father and son. Swear it." Ethan looked up, eyes black. "I swear. Or you will die," David added coldly. Ethan flinched. "Don't say that. I'll assume it's confusion. Youthful idol worship. We'll forget this." He left the room. He'd believed it was a phase. Now, watching Ethan's calm, composed face as he prepared for the sham ceremony, he knew better. The young man in the tailored suit was heartbreakingly handsome, the faint makeup highlighting the perfect features, the small mole by his eye. "Let's go," Liam said, pulling Chloe along. At the venue, David's seat remained empty. As the ceremony reached the exchange of rings, Ethan's gaze kept drifting to the entrance, hope fading. Then a phone rang. A specific ringtone, a snippet of guitar melody David had recorded years ago. Ethan answered immediately, ignoring the setting. "Hello, this is Officer Briggs again. Regarding David Carter. He was found deceased due to natural causes. We need you to come to the funeral home to collect the remains." Ethan's face showed no change. He asked for the address, pocketed the ring. "The performance is over." "He doesn't care anymore," Ethan said, his voice flat. The crowd, all hired extras, dispersed. Chloe looked confused but left at Liam's signal. Soon, only the two men remained in the ornate hall. And David. Ethan's hands trembled as he tried to unlock his phone. "What happened?" Liam asked quietly. Ethan's throat worked. "He was waiting for me." He finally unlocked the device. The screen showed an old photo of them, taken outside a high school. David, smiling, glasses on, hair a little too long. David closed his eyes. Had his intervention been right? He'd thought providing food, shelter, education, and altering a tragic fate was enough. An author's redemption. Now he wasn't sure. Liam drove. Ethan sat rigid, dialing the same number again and again. Nothing but voicemail. At the funeral home, Ethan was composed. He signed forms, selected an urn. In the courtyard, they watched black smoke rise from a chimney. David watched it too. All flesh, all stories reduced to ash. He didn't know what Ethan was thinking. He realized, with a pang, that despite creating him and raising him, he didn't truly understand him. In the car, Liam broke the silence. It was sudden. "I should have stayed," Ethan murmured, clutching the urn. "If I'd been there, I would have known he was sick." "You couldn't have known. You moved out for treatment so he wouldn't worry. No one is omniscient." "No." Ethan shook his head slowly. "I broke my oath. I still love him. This is the punishment. I am a curse." David recoiled. Those were the words he'd written for the villain's final monologue before a jump from a cliff. Now here they were, spoken by a successful man grieving a father. It was wrong. Life involved loss. David was supposed to go first. Ethan insisted on returning to the old apartment. Liam reluctantly agreed after Ethan promised, "I won't do anything foolish." He wanted me to live a long life. David watched the door close. He hesitated before passing through. The living room was untouched. His favorite armchair still sat by the balcony window. He used to nap there in the sun, Ethan on a stool beside him, the light painting his profile. Ethan would always sense his gaze and look up, offering a smile as warm as the afternoon. When a sentence becomes a living soul, David thought. The system's old words returned. His resentment was profound. He was never loved and could not love. His soul was fracturing. You are his creator. Your responsibility is to offer him a different path. Had he? Ethan emerged, changed into casual clothes, composed. He placed the urn on the coffee table and sat opposite it, hands clasped. "Dad," he began, voice steady. "I've been getting treatments, medication. I tried not to think of you. I told the doctors to erase you from my mind, to become the normal son you wanted. My birth father, he said I was a freak, that I didn't understand love. I thought maybe that wasn't so bad. Then I learned what it was. I wanted to be near you, to follow you, to hold your hand. I wanted..." His voice faltered. He buried his face in his hands. When he continued, it was raw. "That kind of love wasn't allowed. You rejected it. So I tried to cut it out. It was difficult." He took a shaky breath. "I asked people, what does a good son do? I pretended. The treatment was hard, but I bore it. I started forgetting you. My dreams were empty. I thought you'd be happy." "David," he said, then again, "David." He looked up, eyes red-rimmed. "If there had been more time. David, I think I hate you a little. A tear tracked down his cheek. David, I love you. You'd be angry hearing that. But you're gone. Will you scold me in my dreams? The pills took my dreams away. What do I do now? Ethan didn't collapse. He gave himself 2 days in the silent apartment. Then he bought a plot in a hillside cemetery with a view. He placed the urn, burned stacks of paper money in a ceremonial can. David, he said to the stone, I'll live a long life. Someone has to tend your grave. He knelt, forehead touching the cold earth for a long time. When he rose, there were tear tracks. Don't get sick, over there. He left. David stayed by the grave. The sun offered no warmth. The system vanished. David remained as an unseen companion. Ethan went to work, came home to the cold space. Each evening he'd call out, David, I'm home. What should we make for dinner? He'd wait 3 seconds, then smile at the empty air. Okay, I'll cook. It seemed a gentle madness. His social functions were normal. Liam was relieved. Ethan even gained some weight. David began to hope the forgetting would truly come. Then New Year's Eve. Ethan brought groceries. It's time for dumplings. He turned on the television for noise, made the dough alone. He rolled out wrappers and instinctively held one out to his side. His hand hung in the air. He pulled it back. You don't feel like helping tonight. That's okay. You always said mine were ugly. I've improved. He made 2 portions, set a bowl opposite his own, and ate in silence. Tears dripped into his broth. David looked away, his own non-existent heart clenching. Later, Ethan packed the extra food and drove to the cemetery. Fireworks bloomed over the city in the distance. He leaned against the headstone and fell into an exhausted sleep. He'll catch cold, David thought, reaching for him. His hand passed through. Ethan jolted awake, his head knocking the stone. He didn't seem to feel it. A slow, wondering smile touched his lips. David, I finally dreamed of you. You were going to touch my head, like when I was small. Then I woke up. He leaned his cheek against the granite. You never visit. You're a bad, never mind. Happy New Year, David. The scene seemed to bleach of color. David remembered 1,000 glances met, 100 hesitant questions. A rainy night he'd come home from a pointless dinner date to find Ethan waiting on the porch, holding a bag of his favorite bakery items, his expression one of profound, quiet despair. Even after David promised no serious relationships until after Ethan's graduation, the boy had asked, and after? I'll choose someone you like. A joke, bittersweet. I like me. Don't be silly. Did he love him? Of course. Every author holds affection for their characters. So Ethan's love, perhaps it wasn't so unnatural after all. Time to depart, the system intoned. I think David said slowly, I was the one who didn't understand love. Common enough. My reward for completing the task. Can I take him? An obsolete antagonist shouldn't disrupt the narrative. You are certain? Yes. And if it causes complications? I'll write a sequel. A sweet one. Was that a laugh from the system? As you wish. Remember the sequel. On an unremarkable Tuesday, Ethan sent Liam a final text. I'm just tired. I miss him too much. I'm gonna see him now. It was good knowing you. He settled into the armchair by the window, the one David loved, and let his eyes close. The warmth slowly left him. In his fading consciousness, he heard a voice, saw a familiar, gentle gaze from a sun-drenched afternoon. David watched the life leave the young man in the chair. He turned to the silent presence of the system. He seems broken. And why so fast? A pause. He terminated his own life. David sighed. Poor kid. He concentrated, and somehow he was holding the tall, solid form of Ethan, stroking his hair, murmuring comforts. It's all right now. I brought you with me. We'll stay here together, okay? Ethan's eyes fluttered open, dazed and wet. This isn't a dream? David, you're so young. Did you come for me? It's complicated. But you're not in that world anymore. Seeing the continued confusion, David leaned forward and pressed a soft kiss to his forehead. Are you awake now? Ethan's lips trembled. Heaven, you're on your own now, the system chimed and was gone. Before David could process the statement, he was caught in a crushing embrace. David. The name was a sigh against his skin, followed by a kiss. Then, a question held in a breath. Would Amor be acceptable? David had a sudden, clear premonition. The man in his arms was beyond reason. When the next kiss came, laced with the salt of tears, David felt a flicker of regret about their location. Then he closed his eyes, wrapped his arms around Ethan, and held on. Later, David found the letter, handwritten on thick paper, tucked in a book. David, it's New Year's Eve. I thought of you wanting to make dumplings today. I remember when you first brought me here. You smiled and said this was our home. I never told you, but I thought then, everyone leaves. Sooner or later. You had no blood tie to me. My parents left. You would too. Sooner or later. But you stayed. Season after season, I was fed, clothed, warm. I didn't have to plan my survival in a leaking room. I could say, that's my dad with pride, not as a recipient of pity. But Dad, I grew taller than you. When I held your hand, my heart beat a strange, frantic rhythm. I didn't know if that was normal, until the night I overheard your call. A friend setting you up. You laughed it off. I have a son. He argued. You're young. He's not yours. You've done enough. You can't truly keep someone else's child. I knew your tone. You were closing the subject. But my world contracted. Was this feeling? Because I was not keepable? Because I wasn't right? The thought was a secret poison. Being near you was joy and agony. If you found someone, I vowed to hide this sickness in the shadows forever, if it meant your happiness. Even if my pain outweighed all else. Then you discovered it. The hurt in your eyes. I knew the feeling had to be excised. The treatments began. The medications made everything feel submerged. My dreams emptied of you. I was becoming normal. I would marry, build a life. You would be pleased. But you left. Perhaps the oath itself was the punishment.
I'm sorry.
My words are stumbling. I miss you. I promise to live. But every day is an effort. I wanted to live in dreams of you, but you avoid even those. I've stopped the pills, yet I'm forgetting. The shape of your smile blurs. I miss you. I will break my promise again. I am coming to find you. Ethan.